Welcome back to the Declutter Revolution. Have you ever noticed how Dutch often seem calm, confident, and strangely at ease with life, like they're not constantly rushing, proving, or burning out? I used to wonder the same thing. What are they doing differently, and why does their way of living feel so light, yet so grounded? Today's video isn't about big life hacks or dramatic transformations. It's about the quiet habits and subtle mindsets that shape how Dutch move through daily life, how they rest without guilt, love without drama, work without constant pressure, and stay connected to themselves in a noisy world. These aren't rules or trends you need to follow perfectly. They're gentle shifts in thinking that slowly change how you treat your time, your energy, and yourself. And once you see them, you can't really unsee them. So stay with me. Let's step into these everyday Dutch habits and see how they might help you live with more calm, clarity, and self-respect. To begin, let's talk about protect your right to rest. It is a basic human need. In their mindset, being constantly busy is not a symbol of value, ambition, or worth. A person does not become more respectable simply because they are exhausted. In daily life, this belief shows up in quiet but powerful ways. After work hours, most people do not rush to reply to emails or messages related to their jobs. Weekends are treated as personal territory, not flexible extensions of the work week. Meetings, team-building events, or work-related social activities outside office hours are kept minimal and intentional, not automatic expectations. What struck me most was how normal it is to leave the office on time. Employees can pack their bags and go home without feeling the need to explain themselves or prove dedication. When someone says, "I need rest today," the response is not guilt pressure or motivational talk. It is simple acceptance. Rest is respected, not questioned. Over time, this creates visible results. People seem less emotionally drained, more present, and more consistent in their energy. Instead of burning brightly for a short period and then collapsing, they move at a pace they can sustain for years. There is also far less guilt attached to doing nothing. Rest becomes part of life, not an interruption to it. This approach quietly teaches self-respect. By honoring personal rhythm and protecting the right to rest, life feels more balanced. Loving yourself in this sense begins with allowing yourself to pause without apology. If this way of honoring rest resonated with you, don't miss tomorrow's video. I'll share simple Dutch habits that cost nothing, yet gently reshape daily life. Practical grounding and surprisingly powerful, you'll likely find yourself needing them. Once rest is respected, another quiet source of peace becomes visible the way money is handled. Now we move on to freedom of owing no one money, a calm and grounded approach to finances. There is very little emotional drama around buying things and almost no excitement about buy now, pay later. It feels calm, grounded, and surprisingly kind to the mind. In this mindset, money is not something borrowed from the future. People are encouraged to stay aware of their real financial limits instead of stretching them with credit. Consumer debt is not treated as normal or inevitable. If the money is not there, the purchase simply waits. This creates a natural pause before buying anything expensive, allowing time to ask, "Do I really need this, or is this worth my peace of mind?" I saw this clearly when it came to big items, electronics travel, even home improvements. Rather than paying in installments, many people create a savings fund and slowly build toward that goal. It may take longer, but the process itself brings clarity and intention. By the time the purchase happens, there is no lingering stress attached to it. Another thing that stood out to me was how little social pressure exists around spending. Gifts are simple. No one expects you to overspend for appearances. Saying "I'm not buying this right now" feels acceptable, not embarrassing. This removes a huge emotional burden, especially for women who are often conditioned to spend to please others. Financial anxiety softens because there are fewer surprises and no silent debts waiting in the background. Spending becomes conscious rather than emotional, and perhaps most importantly, sleep comes easier. There is a quiet comfort in knowing that tomorrow's money is not already spoken for. In this way, respecting your finances becomes another form of self-respect and a gentle act of self-love. When money stops being a source of tension, something else softens too, the constant pressure to compete, to prove, or to stay ahead of others. Next, let's explore success without the pressure to win. From the outside, this may look like a lack of ambition, but living inside it feels very different. It feels lighter, quieter, and far more human. In daily work culture, teamwork is valued more than individual spotlight. Responsibilities are shared, and success is often spoken of as a group effort rather than a personal victory. Stability is respected more than standing out. Doing your job well consistently and responsibly matters more than being the loudest or fastest person in the room. What also surprised me was how rarely people compare salaries, titles, or achievements. These topics are not used as measures of self-worth. Without constant comparison, there is less silent competition and fewer unspoken hierarchies. Even in conversations, there is no strong need to win. Disagreements are handled calmly, and letting a discussion end without victory feels completely acceptable. Instead of trying to outperform others, people tend to focus on improving their own skills. Progress is seen as something personal and internal, not a race against those around you. This shift removes the pressure to constantly prove value through visible success. The result is a noticeably calmer environment. Stress levels are lower, and people seem more comfortable being ordinary on some days and capable on others. For me, this way of thinking was deeply healing. It gently reminded me that worth is not built by comparison, and self-love grows naturally when the need to compete quietly fades away. This calm approach doesn't stop at work or finances. It also shows up deeply in how people relate to one another. At this point, we come to equality in relationships. Whether between friends, family members, or romantic partners, a healthy connection is not built on control or hierarchy. No one is placed above or below another. This mindset alone removes so much invisible pressure from daily interactions. In family life, even children are treated as individuals with their own thoughts and feelings. Their opinions are listened to, and rules are often explained rather than simply enforced. This doesn't weaken authority, instead it builds trust. When children understand why something is needed, cooperation comes naturally rather than through fear or obligation. In romantic relationships, this sense of equality feels especially freeing. Couples tend to negotiate rather than demand. Time together is discussed openly, not assumed or controlled. Two people agree on how often they meet, how they divide responsibilities, and how much personal space each needs. Love is expressed through respect, not constant presence or emotional pressure. Friendships reflect the same principle. Saying no is allowed without guilt or resentment. Declining an invitation doesn't threaten the bond because the relationship isn't based on constant availability. This creates a calm, secure form of connection where people feel safe being honest. This way of relating creates lighter, more peaceful bonds. Conflicts are fewer, individuality is protected, and affection grows from choice rather than duty. For me, learning this was deeply comforting. It showed me that love becomes stronger, not weaker, when it is rooted in equality and voluntary care. And when relationships are built on equality, communication naturally becomes clearer. Now, let's talk about honest talk as an act of self-respect. From the very beginning, the idea is simple: say what you mean and mean what you say. There is no unnecessary circling around feelings or hiding real thoughts behind polite silence. This alone makes daily life feel lighter and more honest. In everyday conversations, people are encouraged to clearly express their needs, wishes, and limits. If someone needs personal space, they say it. If something doesn't feel right, they address it calmly instead of holding it in. This kind of clarity is not seen as rude but as respectful because it prevents confusion and emotional guessing. Feedback is also given directly. Instead of hinting or using passive comments, people talk about issues openly and early. At work, this saves time and avoids long-term resentment. In personal relationships, it reduces the quiet tension that often comes from unspoken expectations. No one has to constantly wonder, what do they really mean? What surprised me most was how freeing this honesty feels emotionally. When communication is straightforward, you don't need to overanalyze messages or read between the lines. You can trust words at face value. This creates a sense of safety and calm in relationships because emotions are not hidden or manipulated. Being honest with others also means being honest with yourself. You acknowledge your feelings instead of suppressing them. Life becomes simpler. Misunderstandings fade, and you save so much mental energy. When honesty becomes normal, something very freeing happens. Life no longer feels like something you need to present or prove to anyone else. Here we arrive at living without performing your life. Life is meant to be lived, not constantly presented, evaluated, or approved by an audience. In everyday life, this shows up in very subtle ways. People do not place excessive importance on personal image or appearances. There is far less pressure to show progress milestones or achievements. Success is not something that needs to be displayed publicly to feel real. As a result, life feels less like a competition and more like a personal journey. One of the most refreshing aspects is how normal it is to admit vulnerability. When someone asks, "How are you?" the answer does not have to be polished or optimistic. Saying, "I'm a bit tired" or "I'm not feeling great today" is accepted without discomfort. There is no rush to fix it, encourage positivity, or turn it into motivation. Honesty is enough. This attitude also removes the pressure to keep up with social standards. There is little obsession with owning a house, driving a certain car, or wearing branded items just to meet expectations. Choices are based more on practicality and comfort than on image. People buy what suits their life, not what signals status. Over time, living this way brings a deep sense of mental relief. When you stop performing happiness, comparison naturally fades. You no longer measure your worth through likes, praise, or external validation. Stress decreases because you are not constantly managing how others see you. For me, this habit quietly nurtures self-love. Being allowed to show up as you are tired, uncertain, or imperfect creates emotional safety. You feel grounded in your own reality. And in that honesty, there is a powerful calm, the feeling of truly being yourself without apology. Next, we look at convenience isn't always kind to us, a gentle challenge to the idea that faster and easier always means better. In everyday routines, this shows up in choosing to do simple things yourself instead of constantly trying to optimize them. Rather than ordering everything online, many people walk to nearby shops to buy what they need. Carrying groceries home, bringing a personal bag, or handling small errands on foot is seen as normal, not inefficient. These actions are not about saving time, but about staying connected to daily life. There is also a thoughtful distance from unnecessary tools and gadgets. If a device only saves a few seconds but adds clutter cost or mental noise, it is often not considered worth it. Life does not need to be automated at every step. Doing things manually can actually feel grounding, almost calming. What surprised me most is how these choices gently change your inner rhythm. Walking instead of clicking a button adds movement without turning exercise into a task. Carrying your own bags reminds you of your body's strength. Small physical efforts become natural parts of the day, not something you have to schedule. This habit slows life down in a healthy way. There is less rushing, less reliance on instant solutions, and more awareness of surroundings. You notice the street, the weather, the people you pass. Life feels more tangible. By not chasing maximum convenience, you honor your body, your time, and the present moment. Living well in this sense is not about doing less. It is about being more present in what you do. Now let's move into calm love lasts longer. In daily life, this mindset creates a very different kind of romance. Love is calm. There is little emotional testing, no intentional conflict to prove care or loyalty. Instead of chasing passion through tension, couples focus on emotional safety. Feeling at ease with someone being able to breathe, rest, and be yourself is valued more than constant excitement. I noticed that many couples prioritize simple shared moments. Cooking dinner together at home, taking evening walks, running errands side by side, or quietly sharing a weekend morning feels like enough. These moments may not look impressive from the outside, but they build trust. Love becomes something you live with, not something you perform. There is also a strong respect for personal space. Being in a relationship does not mean being emotionally or physically attached at all times. Partners understand that time alone, friendships, and personal routines are not threats but necessities. This creates balance instead of dependence. What touched me most is how this approach protects the heart. Without constant emotional ups and downs, there is less exhaustion and fewer wounds. Disagreements are discussed calmly, not used as tools to seek attention or reassurance. It lasts. It feels safe. It allows both people to grow without fear of loss. In choosing steadiness over drama, love becomes a place of rest, one that supports long-term happiness without burning you out. Finally, we come to Weir of Ginweir, a mindset about weather and life that teaches resilience, adaptability, and how to move forward without waiting for perfection. The mindset I learned from the Dutch that quietly changed how I live is this simple phrase, Weir of Ginweir, weather or no weather, life still goes on. They don't wait for perfect conditions to begin a day. Rain, wind, cold, or strong sun are not reasons to pause living. They are just part of it. In everyday life, this means accepting small discomforts as normal. A light rain doesn't cancel plans. A cold morning doesn't become a complaint. People still go to work, school, or meet friends even when the weather isn't nice. Instead of resisting nature, they adjust themselves. Walking or cycling in gentle rain is common with a raincoat and hat rather than staying indoors and postponing life. I noticed how little energy is spent trying to control the environment. Homes are not overheated or overcooled all the time. Rather than constantly adjusting air conditioners or heaters, people put on an extra layer, use a blanket, or drink something warm. Comfort is created from within, not demanded from surroundings. What struck me most is the emotional effect of this habit. When you stop expecting everything to feel perfect, you complain less. There is less frustration toward things you cannot control, like weather. The mind becomes more flexible, more resilient. A windy day is no longer ruined, it's just windy. These Dutch habits may seem small on the surface, but together, they create a life that feels calmer, lighter, and more sustainable, one built on self-respect, balance, and quiet confidence, rather than pressure or performance. If any of these ideas resonated with you, I gently encourage you to try just one in your daily life. Protect your rest. Spend more consciously, communicate honestly, or simply slow down and notice how it feels. I also have a separate video that dives deeper into simple Dutch habits that cost nothing, yet deeply improve everyday life. You should watch it right after this one. It's filled with practical insights you'll likely find yourself needing, and missing it would truly be a loss. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe because you deserve a better, more peaceful life. And don't forget to pass these meaningful ideas on to your friends and family.